My name is Shamsudduha Muhammad. I'm co-founder of Ebrahim College. Yeah, so at the very beginning, it was a very simple problem that we had identified. We were a group of people who had graduated from Darul Ulooms or Islamic seminaries in the UK, not from a single place, but we had all come together at one particular place. And then we came out and we wanted to dedicate ourselves to furthering Islamic education, improving Islamic education for all ages, if you like. And we very quickly faced this stumbling block of struggling to find people who we felt could articulate Islam or teach Islam, if you like, in a way that was relevant to British Muslims. The best way to overcome this shortage of manpower was to produce a new generation of seminary graduates who would go on to become teachers, become imams, and so on. But this time, they would have been educated in a contextual way. So now they're being taught text, they're being taught scripture, they're being taught Quran, Hadith, fiqh, and so on. But they're much more familiar with their context. They're familiar with the mind of the British child, the British youngster. The last two cohorts included male and female graduates because around 2010 we decided to become much more kind of co-educational as an institution to try to provide equal access, if you like, to male and female students to our seminary program. So one of our strategic objectives is to remove barriers to Islamic education. One of the most significant barriers to Islamic education is financial. At the same time, we're a charitable institution ourselves. We're a registered charity, and we're ourselves dependent upon the community's goodwill and the community's donations and so on. But we've had to accept that every individual student is likely to have a certain barrier, financial barrier to their education that needs to be solved. We charge a fee, right, for our programs and for our courses, but we developed an ethos that people who could afford to pay for their studies should pay, but we would not turn away worthy students because they couldn't afford to study. Now, that obviously results in a financial deficit. People can't pay their fees. So the way we overcame that was we set up a scholarship and hardship fund called the Mus'ab ibn Umair Fund, after the famous companion of the Prophet ﷺ. And over the last 3 or 4 years, we've grown that fund and built up its capacity to support students. And at the moment, around 50% of our student population, full-time students in particular, are supported by the Mus'ab ibn Umair Fund to varying capacities, to varying amounts rather, all the way up to students who are studying for free because they can't afford anything.
My name is Sheikh Amjad. I graduated from the EC Alamiya class when it first started here in this particular branch in 2003, I believe it started. Because we were the first class, it was very intimate in terms of our relationship with the teachers. There was a lot of focus and attention on us as we were the first batch of cohort of students. In terms of my experience, I had never been exposed to formal Islamic studies before, so I learned how to read a bit of Quranic Arabic at home, and that was about it. I remember making this dua: I just want to read the Quran and read Hadith without having to rely upon a translation. The atmosphere at Ebrahim College was, for me, it was very vibrant, it was very active, it was conducive for learning. There was a lot of support from within our class, and we still are very close, a tight-knit group of friends. We were all of a similar age group with 1 or 2 students that were slightly older. And the teachers were very encouraging. There was a very open relationship with the teachers, so there were not many formalities that created barriers between us and the teachers, and I think that was very key in our development, in having like a form of suhbah, although we weren't necessarily living with our teachers and so on, but there was a lot of care and attention given to us by our teachers. It was new, it was exciting, we were learning Arabic, we were able to start conversing in Arabic, reading primary sources in Arabic. So it was really an exciting process. The openness of the teachers and their accessibility, or them kind of encouraging us to debate, to think for ourselves, the critical thinking element of analysing everything that we've done from a point of view where we were able to understand it for ourselves as opposed to just being fed the information, that really helped enhance our own kind of ability to really analyze the texts that we were studying and contextualize them at the same time. And that really motivated us to kind of really go out and try and find the correct opinions ourselves. And sometimes you'll end up with a completely different opinion. Later on, at times you'll realize you were wrong all along. But that learning curve of finding out where you went wrong and the process of actually making those mistakes really helped us develop as well. Alhamdulillah. The khatib element came from one of the teachers really emphasizing to me that when you're teaching in a madrasa, you're talking to a particular audience that has come to you, and these are it's an audience that are there to seek knowledge. You're almost kind of preaching to the choir almost, right? But when you do something for the community, then you're actually reaching out to a whole wider spectrum of people. And he would always say that you need to ensure, no matter what you do, however, whatever subject you might be teaching and however complicated those subjects may be, you always need to do something for the wider community. And that's where the khatib element came from. So that's why it's something that I've stuck with for 8 years now. I've been leading Jummah at Hoxton Masjid for 8 years. In terms of what the college provides, it really, for me, I think the Arabic standards here are great. Generally the standards of teaching, the standards of the quality of the students that we produce here, I think it speaks for itself. But the main thing that I believe that the college provides is just understanding the deen in the context of us being Londoners, right? Not even being Muslims that are living in the UK, because the dynamics within the UK are so different. So people up north, they probably face a completely different dynamic to what we face here in London. So just studying the deen in London offers so many different challenges. I've taken, you can say, a sabbatical for this particular year. So I've taught for 8 years now. I've enrolled to do my master's at SARS. I'm doing an MA in Islamic Studies. For me, it's a learning curve, and I'm really enjoying kind of exploring almost like a different dimension to the same subject. And it's a part of my own kind of professional development, for my own progression. For myself, if I want to continue to teach at a particular level, it's important that I continue to enhance and develop my own knowledge. So it's a part of me trying to not be complacent and kind of continue progressing with my own studies. So I'm hoping, inshallah, once I've done my MA, I can start finding a niche area that I want to do my PhD in, and that will be my natural progression, inshallah.
My name is Saleha Islam Bukhari. I'm a graduate from Ebrahim College. I graduated from the Alamiya course in 2017. My older son had an accident, and throughout that first year, which was the Arabic intensive, we discovered that he developed a problem which at the time we didn't know, but he became bedridden for the next 4 years. He was very mature for his age. He wanted me to carry on, and he said if I believed that there was hope for his recovery, then he would want me to continue studies but be there to support him whenever he needed me. So in other words, he encouraged me to carry on. But now, with the circumstances changed, there was the caring aspect, so I did speak to the college, and that was something we had to work out on pretty much a day-to-day basis, because the circumstances could change. The college and the admin were very supportive in that we worked out a system whereby I was allowed to keep her phone next to me, which connected me to my son. So if I had a call from him, if he had an accident, if there was any problem that he encountered, I was given permission to leave class or to leave college that day. I was also allowed to call into class. I could Skype in, I could FaceTime, so I wasn't missing lessons. So that was another method I used to stay up to date with my lessons. We had a visit arranged to the Islamic Sharia Council. From that visit, I realized it was something that I would be interested in, or that somewhere that I could offer my help, or in terms of being able to support the work they do there. So after I graduated, I approached them for a job there, and initially, obviously, it's a lot of training involved, so I was pretty much thrown in the deep end, which was dealing with cases on a day-to-day basis. But alhamdulillah, it proved very, very useful, because you're working around experts there, and it's a great service that's been provided for the Muslim community, a much needed service. So it's very satisfying, when you're able to help the ummah in that manner. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided me with such a course and accommodated me to be able to complete this course, then there's a deeper reason behind it. It means that you are going to be in a position where you're required to give back. Currently at Ebrahim College, I am teaching Quran and Tajweed. So that's something I was doing whilst studying here, and so now I've just continued.
I started studying at Ebrahim College, I believe it was in the year 2012. I did the 1-year Arabic intensive program. Alhamdulillah, with the encouragement of my teachers, I kind of just progressed, and I didn't look back after that. I did the full 6 years with the Alimiya program, 4 years, and then the final Dawratul Hadithiyah. So we ended up kind of graduating and finishing in 2018. At a young age, I finished my memorization of the Quran, and then I realized that actually, though I've memorized the Quran, though I'm kind of leading people in prayer, I have no idea what I'm saying. So for me, it was the desire to learn the Arabic language which kind of drove me to look at different options, and Ebrahim College was the best option for me. It's a very, I would say, an open environment here at the college, in the sense that it's not really, you don't feel like there's this senior kind of teacher. Though they're much more learned than you, much more experienced than you, you can just ask whatever questions you want. One thing that I really took away from Ebrahim College was how the teachers, out of all things, they kind of emphasized on not just picking up the knowledge, but doing something with it and giving back to your community. Along the way, many opportunities that opened up because I was studying here at the college. And very quickly, I would see, by the time I finished my studies, I had a very clear view and a very clear vision of what I wanted to do and how I wanted to give back to the community. I could just literally pick up the phone and call any of my teachers, ask for advice. And that's the best thing. And throughout our studies, we were always encouraged not just to ask questions related to our studies, but to also ask questions and to kind of open up about our personal life, because naturally you're going to be going through your own personal set of problems. But I never once felt like I could never kind of sit down with my teacher and put the studies aside and just kind of open up about my personal life. And I felt like by doing that, with the support and the guidance of my teachers and their mentorship, that really helped me. But one thing that I learned from Ebrahim College is, you don't just pick up the Quran and read it. Okay, now I know Arabic. I know how to kind of translate the Quran. How do you bring those verses into your life? That's the main thing. What practical lessons can I take from it, and how can I kind of convey that to others? I am actually still studying. So I'm doing my MA part-time. So I'm doing my Masters at the University of Warwick in Islamic education. So alhamdulillah, actually, by studying at Ebrahim College, just allowed me to progress onto higher education. At the same time, I've actually got my own company, a business which I run, which is a nikah service provider. So the nikah company is called. And also I'm teaching. So pretty much everything that I've learned at Ebrahim College, in terms of the Arabic language, in terms of tafsir of the Quran, I'm also teaching at another institute, which is quite local. There's actually a bunch of Ebrahim College students. We set up another institute to kind of carry on the beacon of knowledge.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Qadi Ashiq Rahman. I was in Ebrahim College from 2006 to 2009, and I completed one of my GCSEs, Arabic GCSE there. I'd done also my A-levels there. And alongside with that, I was also doing my Islamic, the Alimiya program, the 3 years of the Alimiya program. So when I finished Ebrahim College, I could speak Arabic, which was very, very surprising because I didn't expect that. I could speak Arabic to some extent. I could hold a conversation. And so the thing that took me to Cairo was actually my passion for Quran. I had an elder brother. I've got an older brother, alhamdulillah. He was studying in Azhar before me. He is currently the Imam and Khatib of Regent's Park Mosque, London Central Mosque. Because of the education in Ebrahim College, alhamdulillah, I can say this very confidently, because of the education in Ebrahim College, and of course the sort of preparation that I made in Cairo while I was preparing for those exams, I managed to score the highest scores and then end up in the third year of Azhar's college. And so Ebrahim College is an excellent answer for anyone that's considering, I've just left school, what should I do? If you have any interest, in Islam, as well as building a career, then Ebrahim College is the right answer. As well as, of course, if you are an educator, if you are a Maulana Sahib or someone who just graduated from a Darul Uloom, or someone who's got the skill set to teach, it's not like many other institutes. It's not like any other institutes. It's very unique in the sense that it deals with contemporary issues, and the syllabus has been designed around contemporary needs. I would say in this age where there are so many questions faced towards Islam, and a person's faith is continuously being put to test. And so with all of these challenges that are being directed towards a person's faith directly, the only way you can maintain a strong iman, a strong faith, is by having the answers to the questions that are faced to you, and that requires knowledge. And so if we want to seek knowledge, where do we go? Not everybody can go and start, board a plane and go to Egypt or Medina or Mecca or go to Pakistan or India. And so if you are looking for profound education within London, within UK, locally, then Ebrahim College is the place, not just because you want to learn some information and data, but also to protect your iman, the iman of your family, to learn how to convey that message on to your next generation as well. Then, without exaggeration, Ebrahim College is the right place to be involved with, inshallah.
I always say that people who graduate out of seminary are never the finished product. I think you develop a certain mindset, and you hope that you've put them on a path of knowledge, and then they will grow and mature to become the person that they need to be as a leader. So in my terms, a seminary is a religious institute of higher education that focuses on producing faith leadership. But the training that these future faith leaders go through is a kind of a combination of academic instruction and spiritual and pastoral mentorship, if you like. At EC, we focus simply on the undergraduate and postgraduate levels, right? That is our focus. And one of the reasons why we did that is because we want more mature students to come and study. We want people who've finished their college studies, done their A-levels, people who've graduated from university, people whose talent is established, right? People whose academic credentials are established. They've proven themselves through their A-levels, they've proven themselves in their undergraduate studies and so on. And they've developed a passion for service, a passion for leadership, a passion for studying Islam and so on. Those are the people that we need in our seminaries. Those are people we want studying the deen. Because if we want the condition of the community to improve, then we need to improve the quality of leadership. Most people, the only thing that's on their mind when they go out there and they study at university and so on, what's on their mind, for the most part, isn't a calling. Yes, some people have callings, right? It's a career, it's a job, it's money. I'm hopeful that as a community, we will develop and are developing the spiritual intelligence to kind of see beyond that, to transcend just the material considerations, and more talented people will come and study at seminaries, so that our next generation of leaders are our best minds.